What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be discussing the current state of the heavyweight division in the world of boxing, and I'm going to give my thoughts on a couple of the top fighters, well, a lot of the top fighters, and the matchups I'd like to see next for the rest of the year or beginning of next. So let's get straight into it. So yeah, I'm just going to go through the matchups I want to see. They're not all my dream matchups, obviously. I'd like to see a couple of them maybe put some wins together and then head towards a bigger fight with other people on this list. But yeah, so we're going to start off. It's already been announced, December 21st, unofficially. Usyk Fury 2. The first one was great, undisputed fight, got to run it back, and that is an obvious one. No need for explanation really. Usyk proved he's the best heavyweight in the world, but you've got to give Fury his chance to see if he can come back from his first defeat and get one back on Usyk. So, the second fight, I want to see, after this weekend in the 5v5 especially, AJ has been rumoured in September to headline a card at Wembley. AJ could headline a card at Wembley against anyone else, but having the right dance partner is an extra benefit, and we've seen the emergence of a upcoming British heavyweight this past weekend, and that is Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois defeated Felix Hrgovic and got to be in line for a fight at AJ, an all-British fight, headlining Wembley. It's what he deserves after coming back through much adversity. Obviously, people questioning his bottle against Joyce, against Usyk, he's come back in real good performances. He looks like his head's there now. He's got the chin, he's got the jab, he's got the power. And he put in that brilliant performance against Hrgovic at the weekend, and I think he deserves that AJ shot, and potentially even it could, if the IBF do end up stripping Usyk, it could be for a world title as well. Obviously it was for the interim world title, but does that really count? It could be for a full world title, be good for Dubois, but obviously there is only one world champion, that is Usyk, and I think everyone knows that. But still, AJ Dubois, good opportunity for Dubois to maybe become the next big British heavyweight, or AJ 3.0 to prove he's still at the top table and deserves the winner of the Fury Usyk rematch for Undisputed himself. Next on the list, I'm going to go with a man who's put together one of the best runs in recent times. We've got Joe Parker. He's back, teaming up with Andy Lee, putting that quality performance against Deontay Wilder, although he maybe finished as proved at the weekend and maybe was already before. But then he did it against Zhang, who beat Wilder at the weekend. But Parker's put himself in the line. He could have also been in line for that AJ fight, but I think the Battle of Britain is slightly bigger. Also, the fact that AJ's also beat Parker in the past may put some people off, like say promotionally, because people will think they've already seen it and the same thing will happen, which maybe I believe will too. So Parker needs the fight, and I've gone with Ajit Kabayel. And hear me out on this one. He's gone through Makhmudov and Frank Sanchez, two of the next big heavyweights coming out of America. He's destroyed them. They're considered boogeymen of the heavyweight division. Kabayel beat them up easily, and now really he may be the boogeyman of the division. So it's a tough fight, and I think he's moved up from that C level to that B level heavyweights, and I think those two performances, he deserves a shot at someone higher up with more accolades, a bigger name. He deserves a bigger name, I think, for what he's done, and I think it'll be a really good fight and a tough fight for Parker. Parker, I think, beats an up and comer, then he has to have a shot at an AJ or a Usyk or Fury, but I'm not sure. It's a tough fight. I think it's 50-50. Kabayel's look really good, and like I said, he deserves that shot at a big name, and Parker's got to prove for a final time he can beat an upcomer, maybe not some of the older, maybe more washed up heavyweights in Wilder and Zhang. He needs to prove he can still do it, or can do it in this new version of Joe Parker against an upcomer, hungry heavyweight. So yeah. Next, we're going to go with two losers from this last 5v5 of the weekend. I'm going to go with Zhang versus Hrgovic 2. First fight, controversial. I thought Zhang won. Judges gave it to Hrgovic. Hrgovic obviously gone on and to fight Dubois for the interim belt this weekend, however came up short. Zhang came up short against Parker last time but defeated Wilder. I don't think those performances from Zhang deserve him to get an AJ fight per se, because I think you just see that Joe Parker fight and he was battered by Parker. He knocked him down twice, but every other aspect he wasn't as good as him. And I think Hrgović is his first loss. It's his first loss, and I think he's got to have another shot at getting back to the top. I don't think we can go back to the ways before the Saudi influence of if a fighter loses, then just drop out into complete obscurity and never have a chance to come back. A loss doesn't matter if you can come back, and I think he's got to have the chance to come back. And it's also a chance for Zhang to get one of those losses back, which was a controversial loss for him. So I think that would be a good fight. 'Cause the first one, it's a fairly decent fight. Zhang was ahead at the start but tired, and if he can come in shape this time, or Hrgović can decisively get the victory, that'd be good for him and can maybe get another shot at Dubois potentially in the future. Next, we're going over to America. Jared Anderson is the first name in this fight. Turki Al-Sheikh has said before this weekend he was hoping, if Wilder won, potentially to put Anderson against Wilder on the Crawford card in LA in August. However, that's not the case. So I think it was just the other night, Anderson himself said he would fancy a shot at Zhang. However, not sure that will happen. At Zhang's age, can he get into camp quick enough again to go again in August? I'm not so sure. Maybe, maybe not. So instead, I have gone with Martin Bakole. He's been on. He was on the first Fury Ngannou Saudi card. Scored a big knockout. Haven't seen him since, and it's a step up for Anderson, and it's also a good test for Bakole to see if he is really actually at the top. Obviously, he has that loss to Michael Hunter a long time ago. Managed to get himself into the WBA #1 ranked, I think. So there's a aim for Anderson to win, to get himself up to the top of the WBA rankings, and maybe it sometime soon get a title shot, or if the belts become fragmented, get himself a title. And I think would be Anderson's hardest fight, and for him to prove if he really is ready to be America's next big heavyweight after the end of Wilder's career, most likely. So it's a chance for him to be the big name in America, or it's a chance for Bakole to prove he deserves to be at the top, like he is in the rankings, but maybe hasn't proved actually inside the ring. So yeah, I think that'd be an interesting fight. Next, I've gone with Dillian Whyte against Frank Sanchez. Dillian Whyte, after his drug suspension, supposedly that's over, if he's fought in Ireland, who knows, but we're going with if he's able to fight again soon. Going with Dillian Whyte, Frank Sanchez. Sanchez, big Cuban, lost to Caballero a couple of weeks ago now. He needs a chance to avenge the loss or come back and get a chance to go again with the big boys at the top of the table. I think Dillian Whyte's, I think it's a really even fight. Two big punches, and again, the winner comes from a bit of obscurity in the heavyweight division, away from the big names, and maybe gets a shot at one of the bigger names from some of the fights I've said previously. And I think it would be a really good, it'll be a war. Dillian Whyte always comes for war, and see if Frank Sanchez is still about it, or he's just going to crumble after that one single defeat against Caballero, which he crumbled in the fight, and let's see if he can come back from it. Next, we are going to go with, so I think this will be a really good match actually. Technical fight. We're going with Michael Hunter against Otto Wallin. Hunter, obviously, I don't know what's happened with him. He had that win against Bakole and then had draws against Povetkin on one of the AJ undercards, and then just kind of floated off into promotional obscurity and hasn't managed to get that big name. He's been calling for the Martin Bakole fight for a while. However, he's calling for the fight that he won only because Martin Bakole is now ranked and maybe considered a bigger name in the division, whereas Bakole may be running from it because he's in a higher position and he knows Hunter's already beat him and hurt him. But I think Hunter versus Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin's coming off the AJ defeat. I think he's still a good heavyweight. I think the new AJ is just top of the tree. So it'd be good to see Otto Wallin get back out there. He's only like 30, and I think Hunter versus Wallin will be a real good technical boxing match, and it'll be good to see which man may become a new bogeyman of the division. You know, not many people want to fight a smaller, more technical boxer especially some of these big boys who are the big power punchers, may be wary of these two, and I think it could put them back into maybe like the B level of heavyweight names in this division. Next, we're really dropping down into the C tier, let's say. We got Ajagba versus Makhmudov. This was just for, I think both guys are with top rank. Both got one loss on their record. Ajagba to Sanchez, who I've mentioned earlier card. Makhmudov to Caballo, I've mentioned earlier on this video, and both got lost. And I think at their level they're at, they've just got to go for it. I think the winner can then progress into, like I said, some of the other, maybe, or get their names back into the B tier of heavyweights in the division and get a chance against, maybe Ajagba could get a rematch against Sanchez in the future if he win that, or Makhmudov can get another go at many thought that big scary Bond looking guy. It could be a real problem in the heavyweight division until Caballo went through him. But yeah, that's my C tier matchup for the American heavyweights. And I'll do the same, no disrespect, but in the UK we got to run it back for the British title. Wardley Clark 2, first one was a war, let's run it back. We've got to see which of the guys can progress again into the B tier heavyweights and maybe further. Obviously Fabio Wardley, as the British title holder, he's ranked in the top 15 of a couple of these ranking systems, like the WBA, WBO, WBC, whatever. He's ranked in the top 15, and a win, you could then come from white collar boxing, from nothing, into one of these big names. And he's obviously fought on a Saudi card before, promotional free agent. He fights where he wants, when he wants, who he wants, and he does just that. He won't say no to anyone. And Fraser Clark wants to get one back. The former Olympian, should he, for experience, he should have won this fight. He didn't, but it was a war. Fabio Wardley's quality, Fraser Clark's quality, you got to run it back and see who can progress up to the next level into bigger names and bigger things. And yeah, and one more fight I'm going to mention. The other week, Lawrence Coley won the Bridgeweight World title, whatever you think of that. However, he's only doing it to move up to heavyweight. So he's going up to heavyweight, he'll need a first heavyweight fight. Former cruiserweight champion, but especially the loss to Billy Smith, I don't think he can come straight into the top, and I think he's got to come into the lower levels of the heavyweight division. And I think a good fight, both of these men are with Sky Sports. I think he could headline a Sky card with through name value as well, and I think it'd be a fairly decent fight to see where both men are at. And Lawrence Coley, I've got him against Hughie Fury. Hughie Fury, after a long time out, obviously he has had goes at the top of the tables, fallen short in his younger years, but I think Lawrence Coley, I think that's a good first test for him at heavyweight, to see if he can sit with the big boys, and if his power carries through, if his chin carries through, and if he stops hugging, or maybe with his new trainer, maybe he can be a more attractive fighter. And I think Hughie Fury's got a name value to headline a card, Lawrence Coley's got a name value to headline a card, and I think be a decent main event for Sky Sports and Boxer. But yeah, that's it for what I've got. Obviously there's a couple of, really only one fighter I didn't mention, Andy Ruiz, but obviously he's on this August Crawford card against Jarrell Miller. He should win that, I hope he wins that. And that's another name you could chuck in with some of these guys if my dream heavyweight matchups come to fruition. But yeah, that's all from me guys, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.